Dispatching a purchase order in Fiscal. This video has been updated, so you may notice some changes if you're re-watching. Dispatching is a relatively easy process that you will complete after a purchase order that lists you as the buyer has been fully approved and before you make the purchase. The general process is as follows. If you are listed as the buyer in a purchase order, whether you created the purchase order or not, you will get the email that says the purchase order has been approved. You will go back into the purchase order and dispatch it. Then you will retrieve the PDF of the purchase order where Fiscal put it and save it on your computer. You will need this purchase order PDF for the receiving or reconciliation stage later. This video will also cover how to go back and get that dispatched PDF if you misplace it. That process will also allow you to get dispatched PDFs for anyone else's purchase order, if for some reason you need it and they can't give it to you. Step 1. Receive notice that the purchase order was approved. You will have gotten an email telling you your purchase order is approved if you are listed as the buyer in the purchase order. It is also possible for you to do someone else the favor of dispatching a purchase order that lists that other person as the buyer, but that will require the other person telling you, "Hey, my purchase order is approved. Will you go dispatch it for me?" Then you'll need to email them the purchase order PDF when you're done. Dispatching is pretty easy, so it will probably make sense for buyers just to do their own. Another way you may receive notification that your purchase order has been approved and is ready for dispatch is when you log into Fiscal. Up here in the top right corner, you'll see an indication that there is a task waiting for you by the red number on the flag. Click on that flag. You may need to go to the Alerts tab, and there you will see links that tell you your purchase orders have been approved. Once you click on the flag once, that number might go away. But just go back in and check and click on the Alerts tab, and you should see these links. So you can click on any of these links to go to the purchase order that is approved, or you can follow the link in the email you got. Step 2. Now that you know your purchase orders are approved, your task as the buyer is to go and dispatch the purchase order. This must be done before you can make the purchase. In this case, I will click on one of these links to go look at my approved purchase order. Fiscal drops me on this purchase order approval page. I need to go look at the purchase order itself, so click on the Edit Purchase Order button if this is the page you start from. Or you can always look up your purchase order by using the Add Update Purchase Order interface, where you would go to create a new purchase order and just search for your purchase order number. Here, the purchase order status you can see is approved. Before you dispatch, check that dispatch method, the drop-down says print. It should show that by default. Just make sure it does. Then click the dispatch button. A pop-up called Dispatch Options will open. Be certain that the options look just like this. They should default to this, but just double check. Web, PDF, this print PO item description box is checked. Make sure the print copy box is not checked. If this box is checked, it will cause problems in Fiscal. Don't enter anything else. You shouldn't have to touch anything. It should look just like this, and you can click OK. You'll get this message box. I have been told to just choose No. But if you'd like to live dangerously and click Yes, let me know what happens. So I'll click No. and after a moment, another box will appear. This box gives you an instance number, which you may wish to write down for future reference to be able to keep track of this purchase order, because where the PDF shows up will not give you an indication of what purchase order it is. So just write this down, 376, so that you can identify your purchase order later. Fiscal is now running a process in the background to turn your purchase order into a PDF. Your step 3 will be to go and get that PDF that Fiscal just made for you. There is what I consider an optional step in here. If you want to keep tabs on the progress of your purchase order PDF creation, perhaps if you're making many of them, you can go back and look at your purchase order itself to see if the status has changed from approved to dispatched, or you can go to Main Menu, People Tools, Process Scheduler, and Process Monitor. As I say, I think this is an optional step that you don't have to do, but if you want to keep track and wait for notification that your PDF has been created, you can go here. There you'll look for your instance number. Here's the one I just wrote down, ends with 376, and it says success and posted. That means the PDF is ready, but you must go someplace else to fetch it. So I think this screen isn't necessarily that useful. To fetch your purchase order PDF, here's where you go. This part isn't optional, this is how you get it. Go to Main Menu, Reporting Tools, Report Manager. You may want to save this one in your favorites. Go to the Administration tab if you're not on it already. Here, look for the process instance number that you wrote down. 1 will have been added to the number. So my number ended in 376. It now ends in 377. This link beside your process instance number is the PDF of the purchase order you just dispatched. If, however, you get to this page and there's nothing here yet, you don't see your instance number, give it a minute and then click this refresh button, and Fiscal will check again to see if it's done. When it shows up, click on the link and a PDF of your purchase order will open. This is a very important PDF. At the bottom, you'll see it has been signed. You must have this signed PDF for when you receive or reconcile your purchase. So, step 4 is to print and or save this purchase order PDF digitally to your computer so you can have it for later. I happen to be using Chrome as my browser, and I have the options here in the top right to download or print this PDF. You can print it or save it the same way you would save a receipt that you got from Amazon or any other online document that you want to save. So I click this download button and I can choose where to put my purchase order. So I locate my folder for this one, make sure it's being saved as a PDF, and change the name of it to something you'll remember. And then click Save. Remember that you will need this PDF again during the receiving or reconciling process, so don't lose it. How you organize your documents is up to you, but you should organize and name them in a way that you can find them again. Just to show you, here's how I do it. I have a folder called My Purchase Orders, and inside it is organized by the suppliers that I've bought from. Within each of these supplier folders are additional folders for each of the purchase orders that I have made. Each of these folders has the purchase order PDF, as well as the invoices or receipts or any other supporting documents that go along with the purchase. This works for my brain. You should organize your documents in a way that works for yours. Now that you've dispatched your purchase order, you can go and make your purchase. If it happens that the supplier for this order is one that likes to have an actual purchase order in hand before giving you the goods or service, you can send them this purchase order PDF that you just dispatched. Okay, but what if you lose that dispatched purchase order PDF? You misplaced it, somehow you just don't have it, who knows what happened, it's not available. Or maybe you need someone else's dispatched purchase order for some reason. If you go back to your purchase order and try to dispatch it again, you will see that you can't. The dispatch button has been grayed out. You cannot dispatch a purchase order a second time. However, if you were the one that dispatched the purchase order previously, even if it was days ago, you can go back to your report manager and get it again. Use the administration tab, and you will see this shows only things that I've sent. These 4 on the bottom are automated things, I didn't request them. But you can see I've dispatched 2 purchase orders today, but this only shows today because I've specified only the last 1 day. But I can specify show me everything from the last 10 days and then click refresh. And after Fiscal thinks about it, it will show me everything that I've done for the past 10 days. So here's a purchase order I dispatched on March 5th. If I still have the process instance number, I can tell exactly what purchase order that is. Or I can just click on it. Oh, and look, there's my dispatched purchase order with the signature from March 5th, 8 days ago or whatever it was, 7 days ago. So you can change how many days you're viewing here. I've never tried going back more than a few days, but considering the drop-down allows you to go back years, I am guessing you can go back and find any purchase order you have dispatched in the past for years. Now you won't know which one it is unless you have your instance number or unless you start clicking on every single one of them, but you could, theoretically, go and find any purchase order that you ever dispatched. But if that doesn't work, there is another way. This other way will also allow you to get other people's dispatched purchase orders because the report manager will only show you yours. You can't change it to look at anyone else's. So to find one that for whatever reason is not in your report manager anymore or belongs to somebody else, you'll have to go and run a little bit of a report. Go to main menu, purchasing, purchase orders, dispatch purchase orders. Go to the Add a New Value tab for the first time you do this. Just this first time, you must pick a name, a run control ID, for this process that you're about to run. Only you can see this name, so no one can see the names I pick, and I can't see anyone else's. And you will use this name in the future every time you want to reprint a dispatched purchase order by this process. So you can name this whatever you want, and you don't have to memorize it either. You can name it reprint, you can name it Bob's Beautiful Reprint, name it whatever you want, except I think you can't have any spaces, so use dashes or underscores instead. I'll call this one CZU Practice. Once you've entered your name, click Add, and Fiscal will think, and it'll give you this page here. You're going to need to fill in a couple of things. Fill in business unit, which is 3540. That's CAL FIRE's number. Purchase order ID, you can put in anything. You'll change this every time you're going to run a purchase order dispatch. So I'll just go I don't know who has purchase order 1234, but I don't care, because I'm going to change this every time that I dispatch a purchase order by this method. This stuff on the right-hand side, don't change any of it. Make sure print copy is not checked, and print PO item description is checked, but it should be like that by default. Now click Save. And it's saving, it's saved. Go back to the beginning, dispatch purchase orders. Now, once you've done this once, for the future, you'll never do that again. This time, you'll go to the Find an Existing Value tab and just click Search. It will show you everything that you have saved for run control IDs, including the name you just picked, whatever it was, reprint, Bob's Beautiful Reprint, whatever it was, it'll be in here. Don't keep saving names, because it's just going to be too many. I just saved CZU Practice, so that's the one I click on. This, and you'll click on whatever you just saved. It'll take you back to where you just were. And now you can change the purchase order ID to be whatever one you're trying to get. Any purchase order ID, not just yours, any one that anyone has created in CAL FIRE. So I changed this to 8905, the one that I just made, and then click Run. You'll get this pop-up. You want to check this box, PO BI Publisher Dispatch. Don't check any of the other ones. Make sure these tabs, which currently say None and None, say Web and PDF. Don't touch anything else. Just check that, change these two drop-downs. Now click OK. All right, now go to either that process monitor, that optional step that I told you about, or you can go straight to the report manager and look for your result. It's not showing mine yet, it just shows the two that were already there before. So I may need to wait, click refresh in a minute. I'll wait another minute. Okay, I waited a minute, and now the third one has appeared, the new one that I just ran. So now if I click on that, there it is. I've got another copy, the same one, it has a signature on it. I've got my dispatch purchase order again, or anyone else's that I want. Now I will download or save it or print it to PDF just as before. And that is how you dispatch purchase orders and fetch dispatched purchase order PDFs as needed using some additional processes.